Hello, friends and family. It's Christoph here with my very first vlog, which is kind of a weird word. I don't really like saying that word out loud. It looks way cooler written than it does said out loud. I feel kind of weird now. Anyways, this whole vlogging thing or video logging or video blogging is a lot more difficult than I realized. I'm on day number 5 of My Utmost for His Highest. If you haven't checked that playlist out yet, it's on this channel. That's going pretty well. It's been pretty cool to be able to read that every day out loud, and I've had to repeat it multiple times sometimes because I'll trip up on a word or something, but it's been really, really cool for me. I've really appreciated doing it, but that's not why I'm doing this vlog. I wanted to share once a week just a story of maybe something going on in my life, and then maybe share maybe how it connects to the gospel a little bit. I don't know, maybe something that I've been wrestling with and thinking about. So here it is. When I was asking my wife, Sarah, what I should talk about for my first vlog, she was like, talk about me. And I was like, you probably don't want me to do that. But I'm going to start the story off with her. She's fantastic at encouraging me to eat healthier than I normally would. But she was having a cheat day this week. And so she's like, I really, really want pizza. And I was like, yeah, pizza. You know, and pizza for me, when I'm having a cheat day and I'm having pizza, it's like super mega deep dish with all the different meats you can think of and hot sauce doused on top of it. For her, it was spinach, feta cheese, sun-dried tomatoes, and I think chicken. Yeah, there was chicken on it. It was good. it was a good pizza. I enjoyed it. But then after that, she really wanted ice cream. Another yes moment. So we went and got some ice cream, and while I was eating the ice cream, it was getting all over my glorious mustache. All over it. And it was gross. You know, this is weird. This is weird doing this on video because I can't really play with theater of the mind kind of thing. Like, you can actually see me and see the mustache and kind of imagine just kind of like ice cream just all over it. I was kind of like when a puppy dog gets into food and it's just like all over its face and it looks up to you and it's like, what did I do? I didn't do anything. But anyways, that's where I was. And I got to thinking, here's the stretch. Okay, you got to follow me on this one. The mustache, my mustache is kind of like faith. Not my mustache is faith. To say if you have a mustache, you will have faith. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying that the messiness was kind of like faith. And what I mean by that is when we are digesting truth, when we are pursuing God's truth, it gets a little messy sometimes, right? Is that? I think I'm kind of right on that one. At least I found that for my life. It gets a little messy. Things kind of get tangled up in things. It gets gross, and it's tough. It's not easy. And I was reminded of something Timothy Keller wrote. And if anybody knows me, you're probably rolling your eyes because I have been on a huge Timothy Keller kick for probably about the past year. But in his book, The Reason for God, he talks about how there's this kind of philosophy that when you run into something that's kind of messy and you don't want to deal with it because it kind of freaks you out a little bit, you run away from it. And he said we need to do the exact opposite. And I think that this is totally true. You don't cut the mustache off because it gets disgusting, right? You clean it out. You attack it. And that's what our faith has to be like when it gets a little bit messy. We need to know that Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life, right? That comes from John 14:6. He said that he is the way, the truth, and the life. And if we truly believe that, then no matter where our doubts are, no matter where that messiness comes in, God's going to work through that. And we miss that sometimes. Timothy Keller in his book goes on to say that when we have doubts, when we have those messy moments in our faith, we need to kind of treat them like the body, our human body, and I am not a biologist, so if I mess this up, I am sorry. But the way our body deals with like sickness, right? The white blood cells identify, and then they kind of like reciprocate what the virus is, and that's why when we get vaccines, they're like mild versions of the illness because our body identifies them, learns how to attack it, and then it's less susceptible to the virus. And that's kind of what it should be like when we encounter something that puts up flags. And we're like, I don't know about that. You know, Scripture also tells us to rightly divide the word of truth, and we need to do that. We need to, first of all, we need to not be afraid to say, I struggle with that. That's an okay thing to say. But then we've got to pray about it, and we've got to start researching it and looking it up, showing ourselves workmen approved. If Jesus truly said, I am the way, the truth, and the life, we've got to believe that truth part is 100% objective truth. We can't ignore that. One other thing that Timothy Keller said, and I know I'm kind of being a nut here about it, but and I actually quoted this. I had the opportunity to give the message at my church this previous Sunday, and I pulled out this quote from his new book on prayer, where he says that nothing great in this world comes easy. Therefore, prayer should be one of the hardest things in the world to do, right? I think that's true for the Christian walk. And so often we think that it's kind of a stroll in the park. And listen, you're going to struggle. You're going to have doubts. There's going to be moments when you really struggle. But listen, take hope. Have encouragement that it's not an easy walk, because the greatest things in this world, and I would argue that the Christian walk is the greatest thing in the world, is going to be hard. You're going to have to fight for your joy. You're going to have to fight for your delight in God. But when you find those, you find it to be the most fulfilling thing in your life. So just a few thoughts from, I guess, messy mustaches to faith on this Saturday evening when I'm actually recording this. So thank you for checking out the channel. If you'd like more content like this, let me know, and we'll be back with more. I guess we have more My Utmost coming up, and we'll do our best to continue vlogging in the future.